Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion.
A decade ago, the idea would have sounded absurd. Build a global business without a large office, without hundreds of employees, without layers of management. Yet today, there are entrepreneurs running companies that generate millions of dollars with teams so small they could fit around a dinner table. Some operate with fewer than 10 people. Others rely on software, automation, freelancers, and digital platforms to do work that once required entire departments. So what changed? How did we go from an economy where scale demanded armies of workers to one where a single founder can command influence, revenue, and reach that once belonged only to corporations? The answer reveals a fundamental shift in how power, leverage, and modern empires are being built. For most of history, power was measured by how many people you controlled. Kings commanded armies. Industrialists employed thousands of workers. Corporate giants filled skyscrapers with employees. The logic was simple. If you wanted a bigger empire, you needed more people. More workers meant more production. More managers meant more coordination. More offices meant more growth. For over a century, this model dominated the business world. The largest companies were often the ones with the largest workforces: General Motors, IBM, Ford. Thousands upon thousands of employees working together to produce value at scale. And for a long time, there was no alternative. Because scale was expensive, if a company wanted to reach more customers, it usually needed more people. The system was built around human labor. Then something changed, not all at once, not through a single invention, but through a series of technological shifts that gradually altered the economics of growth. First came the internet, then cloud computing, then smartphones, then digital platforms, then automation, and now artificial intelligence. Each innovation removed a layer of friction that businesses once accepted as unavoidable. Suddenly, tasks that required departments could be handled by software. Communication that once took days could happen instantly. Services that once demanded physical infrastructure could be delivered digitally. The relationship between scale and headcount began to break apart. This created a phenomenon that would have seemed impossible just a few decades ago. Small teams started building enormous businesses. Instagram had only 13 employees when Facebook acquired it for approximately $1 billion in 2012. WhatsApp had around 50 employees when Facebook purchased it for $19 billion in 2014. These numbers shocked the business world, not because the companies were successful, but because they were successful without the massive organizations that previous generations considered necessary. The old assumption was being challenged. What if growth no longer required proportional increases in labor? What if technology could replace entire layers of coordination? What if a company could scale without scaling its workforce? These questions became increasingly important as digital infrastructure improved. Today, a founder can access tools that would have been available only to major corporations a generation ago: global payment systems, cloud servers, marketing platforms, design software, customer support tools, data analytics, AI assistants. Capabilities that once required large budgets are now accessible from a laptop. This changes the economics of empire building because the greatest constraint is no longer access to resources. It's the ability to combine resources effectively. And that's where a new type of entrepreneur has emerged. Instead of building organizations around employees, they build organizations around systems. Saction handles repetitive tasks. Freelancers provide specialized expertise. Software manages operations. Fraswis distribute products. The founder becomes less focused on managing people and more focused on designing systems. This is a fundamentally different approach to growth. The traditional empire relied on hierarchy. The modern empire increasingly relies on leverage. A single software tool can perform work that once required multiple employees. A digital product can serve millions without additional staff. A platform can connect buyers and sellers without directly employing either group. The result is that influence and revenue can scale much faster than headcount. But this transformation raises an important question. If modern empires are no longer built primarily through labor, then what exactly are they built through? Because understanding that answer may reveal where the future of business is heading. If modern empires are no longer built primarily through employees, then what are they built on? The answer is surprisingly simple: systems, not people replacing people, not technology replacing humans entirely, but systems multiplying the output of a small number of people. Think about how business worked a century ago. If demand doubled, a company often needed roughly twice as many workers, twice as much space, and significantly more infrastructure. Growth and complexity increased together. Today, that's no longer always true. A software company can acquire millions of new users without hiring millions of new employees. A creator can reach a global audience without owning a television network. An entrepreneur can sell products worldwide without operating hundreds of physical stores. The relationship between size and scale has fundamentally changed. This is why many of today's most successful businesses look so different from the giants of the past. They're often built around digital infrastructure rather than physical infrastructure, around code rather than concrete, around networks rather than buildings, around systems rather than headcount. And that's where modern power comes from, the ability to create something once and have it deliver value repeatedly. A software platform, a digital product, an audience, an automated business process, a marketplace, a brand. These assets continue working long after the initial effort has been invested. That's why they're so powerful. But perhaps the most important shift is psychological. Traditional business thinking focused on management. Modern business thinking increasingly focuses on design. The question is no longer, how many people do I need? It's, how can this operate efficiently without my constant involvement? That single question changes everything because it forces founders to think in terms of systems rather than tasks, processes rather than effort, leverage rather than labor, and this mindset is spreading far beyond Silicon Valley. Writers build newsletters that reach millions. Creators build media brands with tiny teams. Educators build online platforms that teach students around the world. Developers create software used by companies they have never met. Small groups of people are creating impact that would have required large organizations only a generation ago. Of course, this doesn't mean employees are becoming irrelevant. Far from it. Great companies will always need talented people. Innovation will always require human creativity, judgment, and leadership, but the role of labor is changing. The highest value is increasingly created by those who know how to combine people, technology, and systems into something scalable. In many ways, we're witnessing a shift from the age of manpower to the age of leverage. And the implications are enormous, because if a small team can accomplish what once required a large corporation, then the barriers to building something meaningful are lower than they've ever been. The opportunities are expanding. But so is the competition, which means the future may belong not to those who can manage the most people, but to those who can build the most effective systems. For centuries, empires were built through scale of labor. The more people you controlled, the more power you possessed. Today, a different model is emerging. Modern empires are increasingly built through software, automation, platforms, audiences, and systems that amplify human effort. The most successful builders of the future may not be those with the largest workforces. They may be those who create the greatest leverage, those who learn how to turn ideas into systems, effort into assets, and small teams into global influence. Because in the digital age, power is no longer measured only by how many people work for you. It's measured by how much value your systems can create without you. Now I'd like to hear your perspective. Do you think the future belongs to large corporations with thousands of employees, or to small, highly leveraged teams powered by technology and automation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden forces shaping business, technology, wealth, and the future, subscribe and join us for the next deep dive. Because the biggest shifts in history are often happening long before most people realize they've begun.